Game 6, Section A, we're going to be looking at, again, winning the grip fight in order to set up our takedown. Both of our goals are to control our opponent's hands. We're getting a 2-on-1 connection. I don't mind how this connection is set up, so long as I am controlling one of my opponent's arms with both of mine and they are not doing the same. Section B, we're going to be looking at connecting our hands around our opponent. We can bear in mind what we just did in order to make that happen. For example, we can look for the arm drag and then look to connect our hands around our opponent, wherever that happens to be. Section C, we're going to be looking at the double leg and finishing that. So I'm going to be starting off with my hands connected either underneath their butt or behind their knees, which you can change depending on how easy you are finding the game. My goal is to put Dom to his hands or his hips, while Dom's goal is to disengage from this and remove himself from danger. Fundamentals Plus, game number 7, we're going to be looking at breaking and passing our opponent's closed guard. Section A, my goal is simply to split Dom's legs in any way necessary. If I can split his legs so that his feet are no longer connected to each other, that's a win for me. Section B, we'll be progressing from there. So, with our opponent's legs split, we're going to be looking at pinning either of their legs to the mat and holding that there for as long as possible. For example, with a knee down on the mat, his legs connected. This can be done with either leg or my arms. Irrelevant of what we're doing, we're connecting it to the mat and holding it there for as long as we can. Section C, what we are looking at doing is passing to a chest-to-chest connection. You can start with either split legs or with legs connected to the mat, depending on how much you want to make this difficult. My goal is to get to a stabilized chest-to-chest connection without falling back into closed guard. Dom's objective is to bring me back into closed guard. Game 8, we're going to be looking at finishing our opponent from the mounted position. My first goal is to get into and occupy Dom's armpits for as long as possible, while Dom just attempts to keep me out of here. If I can separate Dom's elbow from his ribs and get into his armpits in any way, this will be a win for me. Alternatively, I can hold this for as long as possible while Dom attempts to get back inside. Section B, what we can look to do is pin either of Dom's wrists to the mat with our arms. This can be done above his shoulder or below his shoulder. Once I've done this, I will hold this here for as long as possible, while Dom attempts to keep his elbows safe in this position. Game C, we're going to be starting off with our opponent's wrist pinned to the mat. My goal is to get under his elbow and link my wrists together. This can be done either above the elbow, or mess this one up, never mind. Section C, I'm going to be looking. Yeah, let's cut that one and restart that one.
I can cut halfway through if you want.
Section C, we're going to be looking. Fucking hell, all right, I'm all rattled now, okay. Section C, we're going to be starting off with our opponent's wrist pinned to the mat. My goal is to link my hand to my other underneath the elbow. This can be done above the shoulder or below the shoulder. If I want to make this more difficult, I can start off from a disconnected position and look to pin my opponent's wrist to the mat and then connect my hands together underneath the elbow.